All right, good morning, everyone. We'll give everyone just another minute or so to get into the webinar, and then we will go ahead and get started. We still have some folks filing in, but why don't we go ahead and get started so we have time for the Q&A. So good morning, good afternoon or evening, wherever you're joining us from. Welcome back to the Berkeley Earth monthly press briefing series. And this morning's webinar will cover results from our August 2025 temperature update. So next slide, Robert. So just a very quick introduction for those of you who may be joining us for the first time. We are Berkeley Earth. Berkeley Earth is, we're an independent climate science organization focused on the production of high resolution temperature data sets, as well as our communications platform as well. It is our mission to empower data-driven climate action. And joining us this morning on this call are our Chief Scientist, Robert Rohde, Research Scientists, Zeke Housefather, and Devin Rand. I am Kristen Sussner, Executive Director of Berkeley Earth, and on this call this morning, we also have Kate Viscara, who helps make everything run smoothly behind the scenes. So next slide. The data that you will see in today's analysis is made using Berkeley Earth's high resolution surface temperature data set. There's some information on this product there available on the screen, including a QR code if you'd like to request access to this product. We do provide custom subsets by request and other support as necessary related to this product. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions or if you have any interest in learning more about this product via the QR code, or feel free to email us as well. Just a few quick housekeeping notes. This call will be recorded, and the recording will be sent out after the presentation, along with the slides from this morning's report. A link to the report itself will be made available at the end of this call in the Q&A, or in the chat. We will make a link to that available. Regarding the Q&A, there will be a Q&A at the end of the presentation. Feel free to put your questions in the Q&A box throughout the course of the presentation. We will go ahead and try to answer as many as possible in the time that we have remaining after the presentation itself. So with that, I'll go ahead and pass to Robert to present findings from August.
Hello, everyone. So globally, August 2025 was the third warmest August on record, behind the two very warm Augusts of last year and 2023. It was 1.42 degrees Celsius above the 1850 to 1900 average, which is our pre-industrial benchmark, and roughly in line with the long-term trend after the previous 2 years were quite a bit above the trend, influenced by El Nino and other events. In terms of where we are with recent months, August has ticked up slightly from sort of the May to July period, but is still fairly cool compared to the previous 2 years, which were boosted by El Nino, and roughly in line with the long-term trend of warming. You can see here where each line is a year wrapped around by months, that August was, ticks up a bit from the previous months, but is still below the 1.5 benchmark that we talk about for the Paris Agreement. It's the fourth month in a row that was below that. And we're sort of expecting the rest of 2025 will sit in this space sort of in between the 2022 level and the previous years, the 2023, 2024 level, which was very warm. That will sort of finish out the year and sort of moving horizontally in this space. So let's look at the map for August 2025. As we come to expect, it's above average temperatures nearly everywhere as a product of global warming. But with some variation, very warm temperatures in the Northern Pacific, also considerable warmth among Southern and Western Europe, a bit into the Middle East and the Arctic, including Arctic Canada, and a bit of warmth in Southern Africa and Central Africa, and variations in Antarctica that are not uncommon for this season of the year. Uh, Also, I would note that the equatorial Pacific has cooled a bit. It's one of the coolest parts of the ocean right now, even though it doesn't look very cool. And that is trending towards a return to La Nina conditions. This map now shows where it was record and near record warm or cold during the month of August, which encompassed about 4.6% of the Earth, 5% of the ocean surface, including particularly large areas of the Northern Pacific, and also some areas around Australia and Central Africa. On land, the temperatures were the fourth warmest on record since 1850. Again, reduction since 2023 and 2024, but still broadly in line with the long-term trends. And again, a tick up from previous months. Now we're going to make a brief technical note. We had some unusual glitches in the data that was initially reported to us from NOAA and their GHCM monthly weather station data, which required some additional filtering to deal with erroneous reports. We've been in contact with NOAA, and they are trying to understand the origin of some of these issues. But the analysis as we are presenting now should include corrections for the issues we identified during our initial analysis process. But I just wanted to make people aware of this if you are using climate data, that there was something a bit unusual in some of the NOAA products this last month. Okay, turning our attention to the oceans for a moment. It was the third warmest oceans for the August average. It's a bit more than 1°C above the pre-industrial baseline. Again, 2023 and 2024 set the previous records, and about 5% of the ocean surface had locally record warm August average. August, as well as July, has ticked up a bit from the discontinuing or deviating from the previous cooling trend that had lasted since the peak in 2023. So we may be moving a bit in a new direction, but still early to establish whether there's really a trend going on here or not. I do, however, want to talk a little bit about the Northern Pacific. So it showed up on the map previously that it's very warm in the Northern Pacific. This is actually, current conditions are all-time record highs, actually all-time record highs for any month, though I'm currently showing August warming on this plot. The deviations from the pre-industrial are more than 2 degrees Celsius, which is something we would expect more typically over a land area than a large oceanic basin. This is quite an extremely large anomaly, including very rapid warming in not only a long-term trend over the last couple decades of rapid warming, but also rapid warming over the last few months as well. To contextualize this a bit more, we are using information from what's our climate model synthesis project, which is just about to roll out soon, where we are looking at what climate models are predicting for different regions of the world and how that lines up with the observed values. As you can see here in the lower line, we expect a long-term warming in the Northern Pacific in line with global warming. The recent warming observed in the Northern Pacific has significantly exceeded that trend. And also the upper line suggesting what sort of the 1% chance of warming in a given year. We've now exceeded that in 2025. This deviation appears fairly significant, and we suspect that a part of that deviation is related to recent sulfur reductions in marine shipping fuels. So we've discussed this in the past a few times, but the Northern Pacific and the Northern Atlantic are home to a large fraction of the world's ocean-going shipping fleets. And shipping fleets produce aerosols and pollution into the atmosphere as they cross the ocean. In 2020, there were new international regulations came into force, which resulted in an 80% reduction in the sulfur aerosol pollution from marine shipping, which would have a particularly large effect in the Northern Pacific and the North Atlantic. And this is an effect which is not modeled in the current simulations because it was not anticipated to occur on the timeline at which the simulations were set up. So that may explain some of the accelerated warming in these basins as a result of the shipping and the sulfur reduction, but probably not all of it. Some of this is probably also weather variation or other causes. But we do want to keep an eye on sulfur as a potential explanation for warming in these basins. Turning the page now, I'll give a little bit of context on what's happening in the oceans away from the Northern Pacific. We have seen additional cooling relative to global averages in the Central Pacific, probably a shift towards La Nina conditions. Again, from the map, we're talking about this little cool speck, which is not very prominent or impressive, but is one of the coolest parts on the map relative to global averages right now. And it suggests that we are in fact moving towards a La Nina. The official forecast from NOAA suggests that La Nina conditions are more likely than not in coming months, and it probably last until spring. But there's still some, needs to be observed what exactly happens. Based on the first 8 months of the year, there's now a 95% chance that we end up as the third warmest year, 5% chance that we end up as the second warmest year, and less than 1% chance of any other outcome. Roughly a bit more than 1% chance that we make it above 1.5C this year, as we were the previous 2 years. The expectation was somewhat higher early in the year due to record warmth in January and March, but it's shifted down as subsequent cooling has set in. So we're expecting the third warmest year and roughly in line with the long-term trend, which is sort of to be expected in this year without a strong La Nina or El Nino in it. Again, another way to look at it, the 12-month moving average has moved down from the peak from the 2023-2024 records. It's now moving more towards the average conditions. It may actually move a bit below that. We'll have to see how it ends up. But the human-caused warming is still the dominant long-term feature here. Okay, thank you for listening, and the report should now be available at the link below, or I believe this QR code is working, and we'll move towards questions.